Sawadee Krap. Welcome to the Ring Lovers podcast. This week is a little bit different. I have a guest on to help break down a fight. It was a controversial decision. At the end of the day, it is what it is. The fight is what it is. Everyone needs to get on with life. But we just wanted to show from an experienced judge where the decision probably should have gone and how it should have went. A little bit, it definitely controversial, but the judging was done by judges who aren't actually from that sanctioning body that the belt was for. So that's the interesting bit for me. And at the end of the day, I stand by two sanctioning bodies as being the reputable ones. They're far from perfect. There's always, contradictions going on. There's always issues with, people being associated with so-and-so and whatnot. So nothing's perfect. You get that bit right straight away. But there's also those two sanctioning bodies are the ones who have got the experience. They've been around for a long time. There's definitely more correct things going on with those two sanctioning bodies. So I'm going to leave it at that for the introduction. I want you to listen to what Joey has to say. Joey's a very experienced referee. He's a very good friend of mine. He had never watched this fight before. And once I get this one out the way, I'm not talking about this fight anymore. It's not a big enough fight for it to actually matter. It was just a very bad decision that, people need to see how, why, where it went wrong. And then we talk a little bit afterwards about judging, about different aspects of being a ref and a judge, and the fact that we always need more. People keep complaining, people don't want to do anything about it. Get more people involved, have more people rocking up to the seminars. Every state needs to have that one person to look up to, and let me tell you, in South Australia, the person to look up to is Joey Abela. He's the guy doing the right things. He's the guy who is so invested in this. If everyone jumped behind him and actually listened to what he has to say in debriefs and stuff, you'd find you'll get a lot further and the sport will improve in South Australia. The whole sport changes when judging changes. The judging at the top will just adjust how the rest of the sport goes. I mentioned the similar thing with Queensland. Queensland has some iffy situations at best, and it will change a lot if they use judges who know what they're doing, which it's coming along. It is coming along, and there are changes being made. It's just a constant progression that needs to happen. But yeah, hope you enjoy this episode. Don't get butthurt, all that sort of bullshit. It is what it is. But as I said, this is the last time I speak about this said fight. Both guys weren't really worthy of an Australian title to speak of anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And the sanctioning body doesn't have a whole heap of value in the scheme of things anyway. So just so you can learn something, you'll get to hear why, the who, what, whys and wheres of how to score some in Muay Thai. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And put in the comments some more subjects you'd like me to discuss, and whether it be my solos or whether I get a guest on, I'd like to discuss some more topics that you want to hear. Thanks very much, guys, and enjoy this episode.
Okay.
Thai style start.
Thai style start. These type of exchanges, you don't really count. No real scoring shots. That's a even exchange because the kick was caught. That's score blue. Another score. Pretty even exchanges here. That's another score, kick on the arm and returned. Right now in this round, not too much aside from the 2 round kicks.
Yep.
And third, so I've got 3 scores. Good jabs, but nothing overly impactful.
But also insane that old mate's not hitting him back, you know.
He's not. I generally don't score too highly on the little shots unless there's nothing else between it.
Yep.
Like right now, it's easy enough to split where this round's at due to those 3 round kicks.
Yep.
And then if I have to go into something else, there's a bit of a low blow there, but
Tip of the grind,
legal shot. All right, another score there.
Kick for kick though, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Old mate did throw.
yeah. It maybe swung by that punch, but still a pretty clear leader in this round as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, even that court being fully balanced and stuff, would they still consider the kick is just the score, right?
Yeah, he caught it, but after it already landed.
Yeah.
Can't see much here, but I think it would take something pretty big to swing this round now. Yep, another score there, and end of the round.
So we're into round 2 now.
Yep.
There's not much
Another
gap
score.
between.
So it's getting the better of him with these round kicks again. Hard to see if anything really landed there, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt to red. Another score. Okay, scrappy exchange, not much in that, but probably blue got the better of it.
Swing and misses.
Yep. Loses a point for spinning as far as I'm concerned.
That's obviously unofficially.
No, not unofficial, artificial.
Great filming.
Yep. It's a score there, 3 unanswered jabs.
The head flicking back a little bit.
Yep. You do look for the head movement or body movement in scoring a strike, like even if it's a jab, if it's rocked the head. That was a solid elbow.
That was a
there.
solid elbow, yeah.
Yeah. If it moves the head back, it's enough.
Yep.
Yeah, another solid elbow, but answered with a knee. It's pretty even as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And there, also a pretty even exchange, elbow for elbow. Oh, so give red that exchange there.
Yep.
I'd say red has landed probably the more damaging shots in the round. That's another score.
Yep.
And a score again. Generally a shot like that with no answer, I'm giving it a score.
Yep. Yep.
That's another score. Nothing there. Nothing really landing there as far as I could see. Yep, there's a score. Another pretty nothing in there. Definitely a fairly even round as it stands right now.
Yep.
In a round like this, I'd probably go towards who look like they did the most damage with their strikes, because the count's fairly even as far as I'm concerned, so
Yep.
I'd probably probably say red was winning with power.
Okay. And straight into round 3 here.
So I got 1 round apiece at the moment.
Okay.
It's blue. Solid exchange there. And another score. So I got blue leading the round early. And again, low blow, but those are legal.
Yep.
I would just continue. Blue again with some smart defense, probably landing himself a score there and another one. And again. Those leg kicks thrown in retaliation generally don't score. It's pretty 1 for 1. And blue again with a solid score. Red landing some own shots back.
Yep.
Nothing here. It's another score there for blue. And it, close, but not quite.
Yeah, not really damaging.
Right now it looks like blue thinks he's ahead and he's playing it safe. Red landed some shots there, but I'd give that a score. Nothing really in these. Blue landed there. And again. And again. So, although 1 strike at a time, blue's landing more effective kicks here this round, for sure. Yep, and again. Yep.
Bit more of a whitewash round so far.
Definitely, I think this round isn't even close. Red's landed a few hard strikes, but he's eaten about 5 scores in between. Solid teep to the face there. Red looks like he's fighting knowing he's behind, in my opinion.
Yep.
That's another
Swing and a miss around the top. Yeah.
Yeah. Smart defense from blue. If the round was close, you'd look towards those sort of things, but I don't think it's really necessary.
And around 3.
And round 3.
Gonna go straight into round 4 now.
So I've got 2 rounds to blue, 1 to red so far. Blue again with the early teeps. Not much in them, but still scoring shots. I'll give the first exchange to blue. And another strike to blue and another. So right there you're looking at about 3 scoring shots. And red answers with 1. Not much in them, but I'll give the score to even it up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's looked like he missed his mark there a bit, but okay.
Not a whole heap going on.
No, I'd say this round's still fairly even. Nice teep from blue and a miss. And red answers with a couple of strikes of his own. Probably still an even round at this point. One for 1 there, but I'll give it to blue on the kick there. Nothing in these, and red answers with his own, and blue answers back. It's a decent elbow from blue. It's score. Can't really see if any knees were scored due to the filming, but fairly even round at this point still. Bit of taunting,
which is technically illegal.
Technically illegal. Actually, if we go to like the fourth criteria, you'll lose the round for that.
Yep.
But I don't think it's getting there. That scored. Remember, these are unanswered shots. If there's nothing else in it, they matter. A knee there. Another
Again,
knee.
I think it was like
an elbow.
40.
So I'm giving blue on a couple of points there as far as I'm concerned. This is my first time watching this fight, by the way. Okay, yep. That's surprising. Another score. Not much in these clinches. We're looking for movement in the body with the knees, like nothing that just slaps. And I'd give that round to blue.
Alright.
Okay, so I've got blue 3 rounds to 1 at this point.
Yep.
Give the exchange to red there. Another kick to red. Okay. Red landed a nice elbow, returned with a kick, so evens out. And some below average filming.
Yep.
Red definitely coming out like a bull out of the gates at this point.
Yep.
Landing some pretty good shots. Nice kick from blue. That's a score. Nothing in those kicks. They're not really moving.
No, literally like the leg is just lifted and land on the body. There's not much going on at all with them.
So, as far as scoring is concerned, I'm not really looking to that kind of stuff. The spinning missed, but the follow-up landed. Give it a score to red. Red definitely having a strong start to the round. It'd be hard for blue to come back from a start like that.
Yeah. I suppose he's also got it in his head that maybe he was up, you know?
Definitely.
Corners probably said just survive or something.
Yeah. I've got red up about 4 scores at the moment. I sort of count based on a round total.
Each exchange though is like it's
Might as
red's
well.
doing the more work and
Yeah. So there again is land the hook on the end. And nothing in these stripes on blue. You can jump up and down, but they're not really,
yeah.
they're not doing anything. They look good to the crowd, but that's about it. Nothing here. Nice kick landed, but he was holding the
ropes. Illegal.
So be mindful to not score kicks when someone is holding the rope. Red again with the follow-up. Yep, Landon snapped his head back. Blue lands a strike of his own. Just missed. But he still moved the body, so you score those sort of kicks.
Yep. They all like swing and misses there.
Yeah. And that's it. I've gave the round pretty convincingly to red there.
Yep.
But 3 rounds to 2 in my opinion, in blue corner.
Okay.
I think the first, the third and the fourth were pretty
Convincing, right?
convincing.
So, we've just finished that fight.
Yes.
Let's just leave names out of it, all that kind of thing.
Yep.
Blue, red.
I think it's pretty clear and convincing.
Yep.
Blue got 3 rounds to 2.
Yep.
I can see how judges get swayed by the theatrics and the walking forward.
The walking forward bit.
Definitely, but I think you have to look at the body movement.
Yep.
I think you have to look closely at what really landed.
Yep.
There were a lot of punches on the arms.
Yep.
There were a lot of kicks that did nothing.
Yep.
Red was definitely the aggressor.
Yep.
But a lot of those kicks, in my opinion, weren't scoring kicks.
Yep. Fair call.
Yeah.
One of my issues I kind of have is people are talking shit about this and that and this and that, and I know in New South Wales it's the board who chooses the judges.
Okay.
And the rest of the card was an amateur massa
Yep.
show, so which is like that's massa style scoring, right? That just got to keep moving forward. As long as you're moving forward, you'll probably win.
Yep.
The minute you take a backward step, you're probably going to lose. Mm-hmm. So they appointed massa judges for a WMO Australian title.
Right.
Technically,
Well, that shouldn't be a thing.
that shouldn't be a thing, right? Also being that blue corner, he was 6-0, but only had they were all amateur fights in
Yep.
WA
So it
or
doesn't
whatever.
qualify for a pro title under.
Yeah, and red corner was coming off of 3 straight losses.
Yep.
So technically, neither of those guys actually, which is what I said to.
Yep.
So I've spoken.
That's Australia for you right now.
Right now.
Yep.
Right.
It's
You get a belt.
probably
You get
never
a belt.
been
You get
this
a belt.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to blue corner, and I've said, get the fuck over it.
Okay.
Like that's my. I was like,
Yep.
man, you were fighting for a belt no one was really eligible for anyway, under a shit sanctioning body.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah, it wouldn't have meant much.
No, people want to talk about.
With all due respect.
Yeah, that's right. It was his first loss, which I kind of get it when it's when you've been ripped, because it is a rip off. It is a rip off decision, but also, man, I wouldn't even take that fight.
I think if you're young and you see this allure of a belt, they easily suck in the young people to want these things. But then as you probably get 10, like I'm 22 years in the sport, the belts don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Who they've fought means something.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you've been with this sport, what countries have you visited? Like, it's Muay Thai as a whole.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not so much based on like, I was, a South Australian champion. No one's really going to remember that.
No, exactly. So, this was a WA versus New South Wales. In New South Wales, it was... the fight didn't qualify as an Australian title.
No.
And the fact that sanctioning bodies can put on that belt shows what little worth they actually have at the moment.
Yeah.
And
so with a good sanction, that won't go.
No, it won't go. That fight would never have happened. Like, the fight might happen, but you're never going to get it for a belt.
No.
And people want to talk about, oh man, it's one of the top sanctioning bodies, they're world champions. I'm like, but my description for their world titles is it's spray painting a turd. they'll have these, like some of their world champions, it's fucking amazing,
Yeah.
They've got, Chad Collins, they got Joe Ryan, they got
belts.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got 5 other belts that matter.
Yeah, so they've got all these top guys at the top. The rest of it's just a shit show.
Yep.
And that's how you judge a sanctioning body.
Well, Chad Collins is going to bring tickets. He's exciting. He's fun to watch.
Yep.
You put him in a headline, you pay him the money.
Yeah.
You know he's going to knock someone out with some crazy shit and people are going to love it.
Yeah, exactly. He's really going to hurt whoever he fights. And
and all the people underneath go, well, I want the belt Chad Collins has.
Yes. So that's kind of, that's the way I kind of look at WMO as a general sanctioning body. They get the guys to try and put these big things on at the top, so it gives someone something to aim for.
Yeah.
Which I get it. It
works.
And
It's a method that works.
It's business.
Yeah.
It's profit and loss.
It's profit and loss. And you're in the wrong sport if you want that.
And I also believe another one is any sanctioning body that is going to allow anyone, to not have their own judges, because technically they should be, the board, the New South Wales board chooses the judges, but it should be the judges that are qualified for that sanctioning body.
Well, like when I do pro boxing, like we did the gather round fight night, I was allowed to do all the fights up until the title.
Yep.
And then we all got ushered off.
Booted.
People from all around the country come and judge the fight.
Yeah, right.
And we got told afterwards, you know, private information, but should have let you guys on because they weren't happy with the end result. But look, that's what happens. I feel, for me, the undercard fights are a warm-up to the main. Like, I feel like I'll score the same all the time.
Yep.
But to come hot into a seat like that and score one fight is difficult.
Yep.
You know, so I feel like if you got the same judges for the whole show, it makes it easier on us.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Yep. That makes sense. But it's when you've got, you know, I've sat down with the boss of Massa and he said, man, the way we score is you've got to be pushing forward and making, okay.
Yeah.
When
They're
that's
scoring on excitement.
yeah, so they're scoring on their way of scoring, which is, that's their prerogative and that's Massa or whatever.
Is that written in any criteria? Sorry.
I guess it is.
Because I've never read their criteria.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then judging a WMO fight, sorry, you haven't got the qualified guys to be doing it.
Yep. Because sometimes these pre-fight talks, because I've worked on the smaller shows before.
Bro, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I remember a particular show where all I heard was the head official talking about knockdowns.
Yep.
Knockdowns, and that you could see any fight where there was a knockdown,
Yep.
they automatically just gave the win to that person. Like it wasn't even like
Yep.
half fair, you know?
I feel like if you need a pre-fight talk to know what you're scoring,
Yep.
you shouldn't be there in the
Exactly, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Post-fight meetings, I'm all for them.
They're the best thing.
Yep.
And I feel like that's when the most learning's had.
Yep,
It's hot on your brain.
Yep.
I write notes about every fight.
yep,
Bring a little book. I've got every fight. I've still got it. Like, I'll know every show that I've ever judged.
oh, sick.
Because I just write the fights down.
Yeah.
Like, minor dot points, but like big knee, big this, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just something. 'Cause
Yeah.
you go, oh shit, why did I?
Yeah.
So that way, if I get queried,
Yeah, later on, yeah, for sure.
I've got it. Like, I'll go, all right, why did you score it this way?
So this is also why I'm not a fan of having these R&J courses, these official courses, just any old time. I think they need to, my way, which I sort of like the idea of, is you bring over one of the big names, the guys who do the official courses,
Yep.
they shadow judges for a whole show. They sit there swapping between the judges and then going, okay, how'd you get that? Da, 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 da. And then get to the end of the show and then there's a sit down
Yep.
where everyone sits down and goes, well, this is what I saw, this is this, and while it's still, you know, fresh in your mind, and the head official can then go, you fucked up, you did good,
Yep. This is what we do at the MMA, bro.
Yep.
And I know that it's like not your favorite sport, but the two UFC guys come over,
Yep.
Greg and Steve, they come over, end of the show, and it's not a beatdown.
No.
That's what people
No,
have
but
to
that's
understand.
exactly right.
It's not a beatdown.
It's teaching.
It's teaching. Like, some people get a bit offended or whatever.
Of course they do.
It's not about that.
That's ego.
It's not about that. It's, hey, Pinky, why did you see it that way? Oh, that's interesting. It's never a you were wrong.
Yeah.
Never.
Yep.
Even if you were blatantly wrong.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
never a you're wrong. Why did you see it that way? Please
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah, cool. But that's kind of what we're missing now, right? That's kind of, I would love, you know, oh man, I was going to do it off my own back, and then timing just didn't work out. I was just going to bring Elias over here for one of the amateur shows, and
Yeah. Look,
because I don't think there's enough being done with
I
that
think
kind
you've
of
got to
stuff.
want to learn.
Yeah, you do.
Like, that's the big thing. And there's definitely
100%.
a small core of us that are willing to learn. But like the last R&J course, and look, SA's in a lull at the moment. You know, we had 13 or 14 people rock up.
Yep.
Not very many of them are rocking up to shows.
Yep.
You know, and you got to understand, it's not about getting paid to do it. Like, I did heaps of my first shows for free.
Yeah.
Like, it's not,
Yep.
you're not doing this to get paid. I do it because I love Muay Thai and I want to be involved. Or
Yeah.
in all combat sports, I want to be involved in it.
Yep.
And this is my way of being involved, getting the best seat in the house,
Yep.
and, you know, not having to give up my whole family time, because that's the balance.
Yeah, for
me.
sure.
My
Yeah.
hunger wasn't for fighting.
Yep.
So how can I give back to a sport that gave me so much?
Yeah,
And this is
man.
my way.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't as confident in myself before Muay Thai, so I got to give something back. That's how I work.
Yeah, it's kind of how I roll as a trainer as well. And yeah, I think it's like there definitely has to be. People are scared to be wrong. This is the biggest thing. And when you are wrong and someone says, "Sorry, man, that wasn't wasn't how it was, it's like the ego kicks in and it's like, but no, just it's cool. It's cool to be wrong. It's okay.
100%.
Like when you admit it and you go, that's what I'm seeing wrong.
For sure.
Not like, I'm getting picked on.
You're never going to get them all right. It's actually not that easy of a job.
No,
to be honest. Look, in terms of officiating, the hardest is being a referee, being a good referee.
Yep.
Right? There's not many of them. There's a lot of referees, not a lot of good ones.
Yep.
It's a hard job.
Yeah, for sure.
Second hardest, obviously, is being a judge.
Yeah.
And the judge is thankless.
Yeah, all is they're either getting abused or they're getting ignored.
Yeah. See, being a referee is the allure of it is you're still in the ring, you're still in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So some people, like, they can't fight anymore for whatever reason, or maybe they're past it.
Yep.
That's an awesome way to be front and center.
Yep.
Still involved in the sport you love, and you're there. You're in the ring.
Yep.
You know, it's an awesome experience, but you need good judges.
Because you mentioned you were interested in starting to do.
I'm definitely interested in refereeing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not wanting to do it. It's, I'm trying to feel where I feel is most required at the moment.
Yeah.
We're pretty lucky in SA. We've still got a few good referees.
Yep.
And I feel like where we've got the biggest hole is in judging.
100%. 100%.
So that's where my focus is right now. And then I don't feel right to step away from a judge seat until we're right.
Yep. Yep, that's fair.
You know, I've got 20, 30 years still in this sport if I have it my way.
Yep.
So my time will come in any role.
Yep.
And right now I feel like this is where I'm required.
Yep, fair call.
So that's me, because I'm never stepping away from the sport.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? It pisses me off from time to time, but I'm never going away.
Yep. No, that's fair. Yeah, because like I guess where I've mentioned it to you, like I think you could be that person, but I think other people wouldn't allow it at this stage. But like, every state has a mentor.
Yeah.
Every state has like their head official or whatever, and it's you know, like you've got a bus in Victoria.
Yep.
You've got
Elias
and Trevor in New South Wales. You've got Darius, Queensland. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But you've got these guys who have been doing it for a long time. They're respected. They're at the level where
For sure.
people can go, this is the guy.
Yeah, I don't know how many years it's been for me now, 8, 9, something like that. Like, I'm not really keeping tabs, but I have taught a lot of other officials. And, you know, you've heard it.
The best ones that have come, the best new generation that have come through have been the ones who've shadowed with you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I take a lot of pride in teaching someone. I love to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll only give it if they're, like, willing.
Yep.
And, you know, it's not easy, and I make them aware of that, and you're going to make mistakes.
Yep.
But, you know, that ability to actually see a fight, not everyone has. But there are other ways you can be involved. So even if you're not ready to be a judge yet, help another way, and then it might come.
For sure.
You know, just come sit ringside, like a show like Pride, amateurs.
Yep.
There's no pressure.
No, exactly.
You know, just come. Well, look, I don't know what the logistics are now with like how many people are allowed, like how many officials per show.
Yep.
But just volunteer.
Yeah.
Or score it yourself. Like,
Yeah. Sit there and score it, and then maybe, you know, talk to you afterwards and go, this is what I got. What, you know, like.
And a lot of people have this opinion that you need to have been a fighter, or I actually think half the time it actually is a hindrance.
I think you're 100% correct. Yeah. You could have been a fighter, but you know, if you're a super experienced fighter, or see, another one I have right now is I don't like, you know, it's going to happen, but I don't like people who are currently active fighters.
100% agree.
Yeah.
The only person I've seen be able to differentiate like this is a teammate is Manoli.
Yep.
He's good at, you know, all right, it's red and blue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's my biggest strong point, because I generally like both people.
Yeah.
This is a small community here in SA. Like, if you've fought 5 or 6 times, there's a chance I know you both.
See, mine isn't about I think it's just like there's a few things I think need to change in even Australian Muay Thai. I think like currently active fighters should only be able to judge amateur shows. That's just my belief. And I also believe that heads of sanctioning bodies should not be able to promote. It should be
totally.
I think there's conflicts of interest in there, and it's, you know, it's pretty much
You get to keep all the belts. Like, you get to keep all the belts.
And the thing is, where do you find the person who's going to take over? That's the thing. It's like, it's all good and well for me to say it.
Yeah, 100% agree. And there's not a lot of people lining up. Like, everyone goes, it's easy to get someone, but speaking from the other side,
it's not.
Everyone's like, oh, they did a shit job scoring that fight. Well, I don't see any of you stepping up.
Yep. Yeah, the last officials course was so many people there.
Yep.
And then on the next show, everyone wanted to shadow judge and stuff, but that's all where it seemed to have started and ended. Yeah. Like,
I'm not
man,
too
I still haven't even got my missus' shirt.
Okay.
I'm still waiting. Like, obviously I just got to message Carly about it. And Brandon didn't get his either because Brandon's keen. Because this Valley's going to be Brandon's last fight. He's not fighting again.
Okay.
And
he wants to get on board?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's done the course and he wants to start doing the shadow. And man, if he could start shadowing straight away on Pride, then great, like.
Yeah, well, look, I don't know what the logistics are. Like, for me, I just rock up.
Yep.
But yeah, right now it goes through Tom and Carly has to be like, as to my understanding of how it works, Carly's got to be like, all right, you can have 10 officials there.
Yep.
Let's say. I don't know how many it is total. She's like, yep. It's cool, have 10 there or 12 or whatever it is. 10 of them might be paid, a couple are free.
Yep.
Because she's got a head count that she'd probably have to abide by at the venue. So
for sure.
She's allocated so many free spots
to
officials, which is fair enough. I get that. Like, she's in it to make money too.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is fair
100%.
enough. If you don't make money, the shows don't go on. So
that's exactly right.
It's give and take.
Yeah.
We want the promoters to do well.
Yep.
But we also want enough room that we can have a couple extra guys on, because like if I have a wedding on, for example, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and also when there's, if there's 22 fights on an amateur card, it's obviously a lot more stress-free than it is having a massive pro card, but still it's 22 fights, and when, what are you doing, peeing in a cup ringside? You know what I mean though? Like it's, it should be... Yeah,
I've done 23 in a row.
Yeah, and this is where obviously we don't have enough judges and stuff, and the people who have done the course, I don't understand why they if that's what their goal is, why they're not just trying to shadow on every show they can in leading up to getting their first judge. Like Neil did a good job of it. Neil did, like he jumped in on, was going over to Melbourne to shadow on Moy Vic, and
he's definitely someone that was improving every show too.
Kato was another one. He jumped on, he was doing all the shadowing. Anita, they went through the path, but there just seems to be that there seems to be like one person at a time.
Yep. And that's exactly right. And I think what happens is a combination. Maybe they sit the R&J course, they think, oh, it's not for me.
Yep.
Maybe there's that.
That's okay too.
Yeah, that's definitely okay. I mean, that's fine.
Yep.
So there's probably that. Maybe it's they don't feel ready or something like that.
Yep. Which is how do you get ready? You practice.
Or there's other commitments. But it's like that whole, I don't want to start Muay Thai till I'm fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that same
I don't want to start shadowing until I can judge.
Yeah, where it's like, I think I did I don't know exactly the count, but I think it was 12 shows of shadowing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 12 shows, because at the time there wasn't really room for officials.
Yep.
Neil Brown, rest in peace, he said to me, hey bro, like, you obviously still want to be around.
Yep.
Why don't you come for a Knees of Fury?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he got me on for a Knees of Fury.
Yep.
Got the ball rolling there.
Yep.
And that's, started getting into, because that was Iska at the time.
Yep.
Got onto some other events with him.
Yep.
And then, it started out, actually my first few shows officiating were literally checking hand wraps in the back room.
Bro, that's another important job though.
Yeah, so...
This is the thing, it's actually, all of these jobs are important.
They definitely are.
And
you know what?
You need to have someone hitting the bell. You need to have someone watching the time.
100%. I was just about to bring
You need to have someone who
up.
can slap two pieces of wood together.
Literally.
Like you need that. It's all of it.
Yeah, you literally do. And, a hand wrapping might seem like a waste of time checking them, but I've personally caught out people.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
There might be something under those wraps, or, it might happen once in your whole
Yeah, but you
time.
also someone might come from, a state where there is no policing, and it's like they don't realise they're not allowed to have knuckle dusters in there, and
yeah, because some places, Queensland, you can.
Canberra,
so it's I think there's more jobs out there than people realise.
Yeah, for sure, and people, you and me have spoken about it a lot. So many people think that they have to be a fighter to be deeply involved in the sport and to be recognised in the sport.
No.
And I understand recognition is an important thing because no one really wants to just exist, really. Like,
no, for sure.
So
for sure.
you want to be recognised for whatever you're doing.
Yep, definitely. And
But-
like we all want to be good at what we do too, or
Yeah.
to some degree.
Yeah, for sure. So you don't have to be a fighter for that to happen.
Definitely not. This sport has a lot more than just fighters. You know,
Yep.
step away from officiating. You could just be a great corner person,
Bro.
You know, a great pad
They're
holder.
hard enough to come by.
Yeah, you know, you just be the ice guy.
Yeah.
Hand me the mouth guard when I ask for it. Like
Yep.
those guys are handy. Or
Be able to
girls.
take abuse.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah, if you're in Pinky's corner. But, you know, this sport has so many jobs that
Yep.
people don't look at.
Yep.
You know, even just being that one person that wants to sweep the floor like
Yeah,
once
man.
every week or whatever it is.
Yep.
Like, you're still such a valuable member to the team and
Yep.
you don't have to be in the spotlight at all.
No, exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And that's, it's funny, like you talk about those kinds of people. And mentioned Brandon before, like I was away on the weekend, obviously, and Benji tags me in a story of him vacuuming
There you
down
go.
the edge of around the edge of the mats where there's like,
Yep.
the dust builds up and that. I'm like, so, because one of the photos fell off the wall while I was away and like on Friday night or whatever, smashed glass all over the ground.
Yep.
I go, oh man, the vacs in the, I think, man, next thing they vacuumed up everything.
There you go.
like-
and you appreciate that
Bro.
deeply. Do you know what I mean? That's a team.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This
Muay
is
Thai's a team sport.
Yeah, and it's no different with that same sort of mentality comes in with, man, being that guy who's checking the gloves, or the wraps,
Yep.
being that guy who's taping up gloves for, or watching people tape up gloves, whatever it is, like I'm not sure how that goes here in South Australia.
Yeah, both.
Both, yeah.
You don't necessarily have to sit there watching them wrap their hands.
In a lot of states, you have to they have to be watched doing the wraps up, doing the gloves up. I mean,
Definitely the gloves.
yep.
I mean, look, amateur shows it kind of,
Oh, they're almost always Velcro, so it's like,
yeah, it's like whatever, but
Yeah.
generally speaking, if you've got lace-ups on, they
Yep.
should be checked
Yep.
and signed as they're going on.
Yep. So yeah, it's like people need to, the people who say, so many people love to say they love Muay Thai, but not a lot of people commit to loving Muay Thai.
Because it's one of those things, you love it because it's a selfish sport at the end of the day.
Yep.
When you're a fighter.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
a trainer. Like, the spotlight's on you.
Yep.
When you're not doing that anymore, you're not as important, or you feel like you're not as important. But without every cog, the wheel
Yeah.
stops turning.
Yeah.
Just being that pad holder for the guy, or even like, let's say you or one of your friends has been ripped off on a decision.
Yep.
Your way at stopping that from ever happening again is becoming a judge. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is your way
Yep.
to assure
Yep.
that you're going to do your best
Yep.
to make sure no other rip-offs happen.
Be the difference. Be the change.
Be the difference.
Yeah.
That referee shit. Well, you could be that referee. Like, you could be that referee
Yeah.
or judge or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, it's easy to say they're shit, but it's
100%. And, obviously, but you've also got that, modern day issue of how hard is it for people to actually do the journey now to get anywhere. They all right, I've done the course, I want to be a fucking ref now.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, but you've got to go through all the rest of it first.
you definitely can ref
Yeah.
on an interclub
Yeah.
or at Pride. Like, get into
the
an
amateur show,
interclub. bro.
yeah.
Like, there's interclubs or sparring days all the time.
Yeah.
Referee those.
Yeah. Do you know what? Darius used to rock up to gyms when they were on a Friday night sparring and jump in the ring and ref
Yep.
sparring.
That's how we did an MMA training day.
Oh, perfect.
Just went down to a sparring day.
Yeah.
Like, their sparring night. It was
Yep.
on a Friday night.
Yep.
A few of us went down, and we just acted like they were fights, and it was
That's
literally just
cool.
open sparring.
Yeah. But
And-
that's the kind of shit that needs to happen, right? Like, you want to be a ref? Okay, then start reffing.
Yep. That's what's holding Muay Thai back.
Yeah. I
and-
totally agree. I said it about Queensland.
Yeah.
Because there was a show, I think it was Last Eruption, maybe the second to last, where they had Spiro, Brody Stalder was reffing, I think Trev was there, and it was people going, oh, what a rip-off, what a rip. No, they're actually the right decisions. Because they'd never seen the right decisions before.
Yep.
And it's like, if these guys stayed in there doing that every show,
You get used to it.
that's where the state changes.
Yep.
It starts, I believe, It doesn't start from the trainers. It doesn't start from the promoter. It starts from the officiating.
For sure.
And if the officials are doing a good job, then, you know, like the fight we just watched, if you know all you have to do is be moving forward to win, man, that's what you got to do.
Look, moving forward can help you win if you're scoring
if
shots.
you're scoring shots.
Yeah, like not everyone's gifted with being a technical fighter. That's fine.
Yep.
And if you've got, you know, you got to use your strengths. If walking forward's your way, just make sure you're landing the shots.
Yep, 100%.
You definitely can win, but there needs to be some shots in there to score.
There definitely does. and you know, like from my observation with Massa, there sometimes doesn't even need to be shots thrown to get the score.
Yeah, look, I'm not too familiar with too many Massa fights. I must say, especially the last year and a half, I won't bother watching a show that's not worth the time.
Yep, very cool. You know, I've only been to, I've been to 2 Massa shows now, I reckon. That was it. And they're both just the ones in, like, we were out on the weekend in Canberra.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my thing.
Nah, and, you know, I see enough subpar fights here in South Australia. I don't need to pay for more.
Yeah, so, fair call, fair call.
It's... We really have stepped away in this state, particularly, obviously, in Queensland, of what Muay Thai is.
Yep.
And it's scoring it like as if it were a fight.
Yep.
It's called a fight, but in my opinion, that's almost
match.
Something that
it's
should
more of a
change.
chess match than it's
Like, I don't think they should. I mean, look, they are fights.
Yeah.
But I think the name is wrong.
Yeah, I think the mentality that goes along with the word fight is where it's ruined. You know, like it's because it is a fight. But it's
definitely a fight, but people score it as like this. It's not a street fight.
No,
that's the difference.
Yeah, the sportiness is taken out of it. Yeah, for sure. It's
controlled. Like, you think walking forward aggression, right? We talked about him before.
Yeah,
like a Chad Collins.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and sometimes I'm like, I would never want to throw that. That's not considered like Muay Thai technique. But here's an example of like someone that's walking forward, throwing stuff and scoring, right?
And cutting you off, and you know, controlled aggression, and that is where, you know, they step left, you step right. You know, like, it's not just chasing them. If you're chasing them around the ring, it just looks shit.
And there's a big difference between that and, like, you know, I know you always talk about him, but maybe like a Nathan Mbuki.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
With all due respect, like, he's a gutsy fighter, but that's bull rushing.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily scoring. Whereas here, like in a Massa show or maybe a WKA or something, like if you walk forward just steaming with some punches, oh, well, he's winning.
Yeah, like punches into guard and all that are scoring. And there's a lot of education needed. And I said to a few people, man, if you don't want these decisions, you don't want these rough decisions, then just don't fight on the shows because there's a place for those shows.
100%.
And there's the gyms that don't do real Muay Thai, and they like to call it Muay Thai, and they like to...
Yeah.
Cool, that's their place. That's their place.
Yeah.
But then you also have that other issue I said about with, you know, there might be a conflict of interest. There might be... It's hard to get, you know, when you want to contest a decision, like... You know, I've contested a decision and heard absolutely nothing fucking back about it. I've contested one and it got totally ignored.
Yeah.
And
not surprised on that one.
Yeah, and it's like, okay.
Because contesting decisions with certain sanctioning bodies, let me give it to you nicely, requires extra work.
Yeah, for sure.
And
for sure.
I think if you're not willing to put in the extra work as an official, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Because you know, no one's doing it for money. Like, even if you're at the top end of it, like, you're not making enough money to leave your job.
Yep.
You know, it's just a little bit of remuneration for your time on the night or the weekend.
And for me, that also then, like, my mentality changed after that one with, man, if a rip-off loss means that much to me, I'm just going to go for the rematch.
Literally.
That's
my best advice. And you know what? That's what a contested decision will get you.
Yep.
If
a guaranteed rematch.
A guaranteed rematch.
But, you know, then you've got the people, no, I won the first one. What the fuck am I going to rematch?
Yeah. Well then,
be part of it's part of the sport. Like, part of the sport, sometimes you fight each other 3 or 4 times.
The best fighters have all fought the trilogies, man.
Yep.
They have.
Yep.
You know, like
100%,
Australian
man.
iconic fights are trilogies. Just about all of them.
100%.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. It's like, just because you won the first one doesn't mean that the opponent doesn't deserve a second chance at it. Like, and
hey, look, man, I know you're not a Muay Thai MMA guy, but look at Israel and Alex. Like, you know, he lost to him multiple times and still went, no, I just want my one.
yeah,
And Alex still gave him the fight. Do you know, he didn't have to go get knocked out. Like, he didn't really have to challenge, like, accept the challenge.
Yeah.
I beat you 3 times.
yeah,
But it's a matter of, like, are you a martial artist or are you ego-driven?
yeah,
Because to me, Alex and Israel proved that they're martial artists.
yep,
You know, they're in it for the love of the sport.
Yep.
Whereas if you're too scared to take a rematch, you're not actually a fighter.
No, if it's it's different if it's a fucking whitewash. If you bashed the person,
Then you don't deserve it.
and then they want to rematch you, a couple of months later, man, give it another 12 months. Have 3 or 4 more
Totally
fights,
agree.
then we'll have another go
For sure.
Keen,
Keen.
like.
Yep.
Yeah.
I fully agree.
Yep, it should be rematches. Should be way more accepted than they are, and that's the thing. If we get ripped off, I'll never bother contesting another decision in any sanctioning body, but I will push for a rematch if it means that I have to be ruthless and do the pinky and
Get on the table,
mess with people's feelings. then that's what I'll do. But man, sometimes we lose fights that we shouldn't have lost that, and it's like, okay, oh well, boring. Next, because at the end, you're not fighting for sheep stations, man.
No.
So
you should know this in Muay Thai. Like, obviously you know it, but the people listening, nobody cares about your win-loss. Like, literally. You look at...
Matt says it great. Records are for DJs.
Records are for DJs.
Yeah.
Like Rod Tung, they put one championship, put his record up the other day. I laughed when I seen the post because he wouldn't even know how many fights he's had.
He doesn't.
He genuinely would have no idea.
How many do they say?
Like 300, there's like 250 wins, 50 losses, let's say.
Yeah.
And people were like, how is he at that level with 50 losses? It's like, you armchair. You know, like, you got no idea. Like, Muay Thai, it really just matters who you fought. If you lost to those, like Wayne Parr, all right, I wouldn't exactly call it Muay Thai a lot of the time, but he has fought any single person in his era that he could have fought.
And he's got somewhere around 60 losses, right? 50,
yeah. It's like, let's say it's like a 50-50 split for him. No one cares that he lost. Like, he got in there and fought like some of the best people the world had to offer at the time.
I honestly, I think his record is 99 and 55 or something like that, or 54.
I think he's had 100 fights.
150, 160. Yeah. He's had 99 wins.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. He was chasing 100 wins.
Yeah.
But, like, he genuinely...
And the thing is, no one talks about when he lost. You know what I mean?
No, if anything, his losses are character defining.
Yeah.
Like, bro, him getting bashed by Yodson not quitting, that's...
Yeah.
Like, that's character defining.
There's obviously ones, those last few fights that probably...
Oh, well,
that's a different story.
That's a whitewash.
That's the thing, ones that people are talking about, I guess. But as a general rule, if you lose... Man, the only person who's going to fucking... Say you're the top dog and you lose... The only person who's really going to be talking about that for the rest of the time is the person who beat you.
Yep. No, I agree with that. And maybe a bit yourself.
Yeah.
Thinking about what you could have done.
Yeah, and the thing is, if that's the case, then go for it again.
Yeah.
Everyone has the opportunity to fight and fight again, and you want to be someone in the sport, then sometimes you got to fight the same person 3 or 4 times.
For sure. Bruce McPhee tried 3 times with Wayne.
Yeah.
Literally. 3
times. Yeah, for sure.
Right?
And then won by rip-off in the end.
But won by rip-off. But, that showed the determination.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And that's someone like Bruce, man. Like, he was at a world level, but man, he wasn't at a Wayne level.
He wasn't at a Wayne level.
Yeah, and he gave it a crack, and he gave it every time, bro. And 100% in his prep, nothing was getting in his way.
Yep.
And getting in there, knowing you've given it 100%, and losing, knowing you've given it 100%, that shouldn't break people, but unfortunately it does.
Yeah.
Because people just expect the fact that, they've given everything they've got, they should win now.
Yeah, for sure. I think we should touch on this before this conversation ends. I think that there's a lot of grey areas in how a fight is actually scored. And I think we should touch on this because a lot of people watch a fight like that one that we just scored and will just purely score it to the guy walking forward. I think people have to be aware of they're scored on exchanges.
Yep.
Judges do not have time to sit there and count shots. If you're sitting back and rewinding a fight and watching it on a screen, it is so much easier.
Yep.
When you're live in the action, forget about counting strikes. Like, you are not going to do that.
Not going to happen.
I literally use a method taught to me by Elias, 2 hands. When the exchanges happen, blue, blue, red, red, red. I'm going like this. I'm seesawing between my hands.
Yep.
Right? Got taught
which
to us.
He was just which he was just doing just now when we were watching that.
Yeah, got taught to us on the same day.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm sitting there seesawing between exchanges.
Yep.
That is the only way I've found that works for me, aside from strikes.
Yep.
I was writing on paper at one point. I trialed this method.
Yep.
Red, blue on a piece of paper, and I was doing a little strike every time. Right?
Wow.
Just trying to work out how it can be better.
Yeah.
Because I don't, like, my way might not work for you. You know, you got to find your way. As long as you are scoring Muay Thai, you got to find your way on how to do it.
I suppose in this where people might get a bit confused about how to judge stuff. Oh, that guy landed this many shots. But it's also because that's how they show it on like the pro box. They go, this is how it landed. These are the shots that landed.
They've got a computer. You don't.
Yeah.
You're using
exactly
this
right.
and these.
Exactly right. And it's who wins each exchange.
Yeah.
An exchange may take 15 shots. Boom, 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 boom. Old mate landed the last shot. He landed the more clean shots out of the exchange. Boom.
Thank you for mentioning last shot, because that was a big one I was going to mention.
Yep.
Let's say you've hit me 3 times.
Yep.
I've taken most of them, 1 or 2 got through. But if I've still got enough in me to go bang back, and it was enough to move your body, that shows to me your strikes
meant nothing. Weren't damaging enough.
No, because if you
I was still balanced. I was still balanced enough to throw the shot back
and take you off balance.
Yep.
Because that's a big one. That word, that balance word.
Yep.
You know, if you in Muay Thai, like
balance of posture.
100%. If we talk Thailand scoring, you dump someone or you land a clean sweep, like, man, that's your round.
Yeah.
Like, there's almost nothing that guy can do.
100%.
Because you've shown I've got the better control here.
Yep.
Like, I'm in control.
Yep.
Not so much the scoring here in Australia, but let's say I've landed a strike that's taken someone off balance.
Yep.
That is the scoring exchange. That's what's the determining factor.
Yep.
Secondary criteria. If you ever get to secondary criteria, you haven't watched number 1 good enough.
Yeah, I totally believe that as well. It's like, it's literally a 1 in 1,000.
Literally.
Yep.
And I can honestly say in my experience, I've never really felt like I've been there.
Yep.
But if I have got to that point, it would be based on aggression, unfortunately, as written in the rules.
Yep.
But this is where it's grey.
Yep.
Because as written, it's aggression.
Yep.
As interpreted by people that understand Muay Thai, it's walking forward with IQ.
Yes.
You know, there's Muay Mat, and that doesn't mean that you have no technique.
No.
Or Muay Khao, like, you know, you're aggressive. But it's to do something.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's not just moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, the closest thing to that is like that Muay book, like, where it's actually just bulldozing forward. You take a lot of damage, but your damage that you're giving has to be tenfold what you're receiving.
You've eaten 20 kicks in between. Like, if you're not winning by knockout, like, forget it. You've lost.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's Muay book. So that's like a style no one talks about.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there are probably none here in Australia. Maybe Embleton.
Nathan Embleton. That's pretty.
Literally. He's the only true Muay book, because he's tough as nails.
Yeah.
And he'll go for you. But if it gets to decision under Muay Thai scoring, you're going to lose.
Unfortunately, most people don't get outscored by him because of it, but like look at someone like Sexan, for instance.
Yep.
When you talk about talent, he's probably at the bottom of the pool.
Yep.
Like, skill-wise, nothing nice to watch at all.
Mm-hmm.
But he's that constantly just moving forward, willing to take some damage to hurt you.
Yeah.
And when he does hit you, he hurts you. He doesn't necessarily knock you out, but he hurts you.
Mm-hmm.
And your do to him is a bomb to you.
Well, that goes back to what we said.
Yeah. Exactly.
That posture breaking attack or strike.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
You've just won that exchange.
Yep.
Generally speaking, the way it should be scored, it goes on like, let's say I've come up 5 exchanges ahead of you.
Yep.
That's pretty clear round. When we start talking 10, 12, 15 exchanges ahead, because it does happen.
Then you start going 10-8s.
Then you're looking at 10-8s.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience, it does take a bit of guts to write 10-8.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It doesn't sound like it would. But
unless, if there's no 8 count and you're putting a 10-8, like it has to be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what 10-8 does that a lot of people don't calculate for is a 3-round fight. You've almost essentially taken away that other person's ability to win.
Yep.
And that's where it gets hard, because 3 rounds, let's say you go 10-8 one way, the other guy's gone 10-9, 10-9 after he's responded.
Yep.
That's a draw. People don't like draws. That's where people need to step away from that mentality of, I don't like giving draws, because unfortunately...
Sometimes they're there. But the thing is, but this is the thing though, if you green light draws, everything's a fucking draw because nobody has the balls to make a decision.
And this is the problem.
Yep.
But like on that specific topic.
Yep.
10-8 rounds do happen.
Yep.
When it's completely one-way traffic.
Yep.
Trying to think of a recent example, but like they happen anyway without knockdowns.
Yep.
Then knockdowns obviously take a point further than that.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like, but even to the point where sometimes if it's getting that far one direction,
it's an 8 count.
It's yeah, for sure. And you know, obviously I do want to get you back on here as a return where we can go through a few more things, a few more of the things that are not necessarily point scoring, but the ways to lose points.
Yep.
Which we'll do that at a different date, because I've actually got my ass to the gym.
Yep. We could talk all day between us.
We could, and Joey's one of my fucking dearest friends, and we don't get to see each other much anymore because dickhead went and got himself a new job, which doesn't give him any free time during the day. So
yeah, I had a lot of free time during the day before.
It was pretty good.
The love is mutual.
Yeah.
I've known Pinky for a very long time.
Man, we've both been in the sport about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
He's cornered against me.
Cornered against him. Yeah. It's been good. I've seen the big transformation in Pinky, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you a lot. Thanks.
Appreciate you too.
And we'll leave it at that for today. I hope you enjoyed the video breakdown. Please do the whole like and subscribe thing. I'll put a link to Joey in the description if you want to follow Joey. He's a real family man. He's got a beautiful family, and he's taken time away from that right now to be here with me. So, yeah.
For me, also, I just want to let you all know, my inbox is always open for fight breakdowns. I love it. So if anyone wants to ever talk about that stuff, like shoot them through, because I'm watching fights all the time. Like, I love that. So if everyone goes, hey, what did you think of this? Shoot it through. I might not get back to it in that day, but yeah, I'll get back to it. I love it.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Thanks, bro. Love you, man.
Love you too.
Cheers. ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ